Through the lens of my own camera, this is the story of how Leicester City won the Championship in the 23-24 season. But first, let me take you back 369 days. James Maddison's missed penalty against Everton, combined with numerous factors, meant the Foxes found themselves playing in the Championship for the first time in almost 10 years. Local rivals Coventry were the visitors for the first game of the season, with Kiernan Dewsbury Hall's double giving the Foxes 3 points. This was followed with a 1-0 success at Huddersfield, Steffi Mavrididi's goal giving them all 3 points, and the berth of the straight back up champ. Next up was a late winner at home to Cardiff City, new signing Cesare Casadei stepping off the bench to score a last-minute winner for the Foxes. After defeat against Hull just before the international break, the Foxes returned live on Sky away at Southampton and put in one of the performances of the season, winning 4-1. Victory at Southampton was followed by another win on Sky against Norwich before on the Saturday familiar faces returned, but it was Jamie Vardy's penalty high into the top corner that gave the Foxes 3 points. Nigel Pearson was one of the familiar faces returning that day with Bristol City alongside Matty James and one of Leicester's absolute favourites, Andy King. Leicester won 10 of the following 13 games after that Bristol City win. We now skip to a Monday night game at St Andrews live on Sky against Birmingham City. Birmingham went close in this one before a fantastic counter-attack from Leicester saw Steffi Mavrididi eventually chip the ball over John Ruddy, sending the Leicester fans into absolute delirium. Birmingham then pegged Leicester back after a great goal from Jordan James, who really starred in this game. However, Leicester took control. Steffi Mavrididi was probably man of the match on the night, Leicester coming away with a 3-2 victory at St Andrews. That win at Blues was followed by a comfortable victory over Rotherham, Patson Daka within a good goal scoring run, scoring the penalty to confirm victory. After a draw on Boxing Day at Ipswich and wins against Huddersfield and Cardiff, Kiernan Dewsbury Hall's penalty at local rivals Coventry City put the Foxes ahead. However, a silly red card from Abdul Fatawi completely changed the game. Late goals from Coventry eventually saw them win by 3-1. The loss against Coventry was followed by a disappointing 1-1 draw against Ipswich. The match actually mirrored the game on Boxing Day, with a late goal from Jeremy Sarmiento giving the away side a valuable point. Those 2 disappointing results were followed by 4 straight wins, and at that point many were tipping Leicester to cruise back to the Premier League. However, as we know, nothing's ever straightforward in football. Incredibly, following those 4 straight wins, Leicester's form appeared to collapse. 3 straight losses in the league, firstly at home to Middlesbrough after they'd already lost away to them. This was followed by a massive trip to Leeds United and Ellen Road. Leicester dominated large spells of the game and could easily have found themselves 2-0 up. However, they then collapsed in the last 15, conceding 3 goals to lose 3-1. Lowly QPR made it 3 losses in a row, despite Ben Nelson's first senior goal for the club. After QPR, it was the Jamie Vardy show. He scored the winner at Sunderland in midweek, before then scoring twice away at Hull City, including a penalty. Mads Hermansen also saved a Hull City penalty in the first half. In the end, it finished 2-2 between Hull and Leicester. A lot of the Leicester players were furious at the final whistle. A very poor refereeing performance that really summed up the season as a whole in terms of Leicester's relationships with refs. After defeat against Chelsea in the FA Cup, Leicester returned live on Sky on Good Friday, losing 1-0 at Bristol City. A game in which Jamie Vardy just didn't take any of his chances, a rare occurrence, but Leicester coming to another defeat, and at this point there was a lot of concerns around Leicester's promotion hopes. 2 home games followed against Norwich City and Birmingham City. Both had their challenges. In this one, Norwich took the lead before Leicester eventually got their act together, winning 3-1 against the playoff chasing side. The Birmingham game proved to be far more dramatic. A late header from Steffi Mavrididi won the game. A mixture of joy, relief and many other emotions at the final whistle. This result in the end looked absolutely pivotal in what was to come. The 2 home victories were then followed by 2 away defeats, both 1-0 against relegation-threatened Millwall and Plymouth. The Plymouth game in particular brought around a lot of fears from fans, and there was a lot of criticism of both the team and the manager at this stage. However, despite Jamie Vardy missing a first half penalty against West Brom, the team managed to rally around and win 2-1, an enormous victory. Again, a lot of relief and tension lifted at the final whistle. A special mention here to Hamza Chowdhury, who managed to do 3 goal line clearances during the game, quite extraordinary. Then following that on the Tuesday night, the performance of the season, and what a time for it to come. Southampton at home, they were just about still in the automatic promotion race. However, the boys absolutely turned it on. Abdul Fatawi hat-trick, a 5-0 romp, it could have been more. They absolutely cruised to victory. The perfect time to put on a performance performance like that, and this was the result that in the end saw Leicester promoted. Unexpectedly on the Friday night following this game, Leeds United travelled to QPR and were beaten by 4-0. This confirmed Leicester's return to the Premier League at the first time of asking, but there was still the title to wrap up. So it came to pass. A victory at Deepdale on Monday night against Preston North End would be enough to secure the title. The game itself proved to be a cruise, thankfully. Nice and relaxed. 2 goals from Jamie Vardy and a third from Casey McAteer did the job. Champions once again. What an evening. And on Saturday 4th of May 2024, 369 days after that James Maddison penalty, we could celebrate champions of the second tier for a record 8th time. The game itself was a 2-0 loss to Blackburn, which in itself meant that Birmingham City were relegated. We said goodbye to Mark Albrighton, but it was time to celebrate. Jamie Vardy, Ricardo Pereira and Mark Albrighton himself lifting the trophy. 97 points in total and the most victories of any team in the league. Champions by 1 point ahead of Ipswich, who were also promoted. Southampton have gone up via the playoffs after beating Leeds United at Wembley. I have to mention Enzo Maresca, a fantastic job leading this team to the championship title. Changing the style of play wasn't easy, there was a few bumps along the road, but a fantastic young manager who has now left us to join Chelsea at the time of recording. Steve Cooper has been appointed as the new manager just a few days ago. As an ex-Forest boss, he might not be given too much time by the fans, and with points deduction looming, it could be a tricky season next year, but whatever happens, the 23-24 season can't be forgotten. Straight back up Leicester City.